Welcome to Clutch Talk 101. I got my brother Derek here with me today, here to
Howdy.
analyze the Miami Dolphins and Cincinnati Bengals last night. Um,
Mm.
Overall, I mean, at first when Tua was in, they looked real competitive. Um, Tua was making some really good decisions, and a lot of people highlighted the fact that they underthrew Tyreek Hill, but he that was more of a timing thing. He threw it too late. If he would have just thrown it maybe a half a second earlier, he probably would have hit him. So I mean, I've seen much worse. So I don't even put any really blame on him for that. But overall, the first half was a really close game. I thought the Bengals would come out better than what they have so far. I thought that win at the Jets game kind of gave them maybe like a little bit of a confidence. And but I still picked the Dolphins to win. Uh, Obviously Tua got hurt, and not a injury that you'd like to see, especially the person it was, and the type of injury that it was. Um, who knows what it could be? Uh, he said it was his back, and he kind of collapsed to the ground when he first got injured with Buffalo. His knees buckled, and I don't know. Everyone's saying it's a concussion and all that, but I'm thinking it might be something else. But beside the point, Teddy Bridgewater came in the second half and looked a little better than I thought he was going to be. I was kind of nervous, but at least he was taking shots, and
You hate him.
I do, because he screwed my Broncos
Right.
over last year. I had a lot of hope for him, and he let me down.
Right.
So, but he's your backup. He was my starter. So, but I think I think they'll be all right. I don't know how long Tua's going to be out. If it's not season ending, I think he could keep the season alive. But if it's season ending, then I don't know. It's hard to see them with more than nine wins or so. Uh, what was your take on what you saw and what you think the Dolphins are going to do?
So, well, it was Thursday night football, so I was able to at least freaking watch it. I was
Yeah.
really excited about that. And I really was impressed with Tua. And I've always been a Tua believer. I've never been on that bandwagon of hating him.
Yeah.
And because of his accuracy and
Mm-hmm.
because of his competitive nature and game management skills that are not just like it's like an elite game management skill that he
Yeah.
possesses. And like we've talked about, we don't think game management is a negative term always. It can be, it's probably the best quality. So
Right.
I had high hopes for him, and then to see my expectations realized was really nice. He was throwing just beautiful dimes, like, and especially in the midfield, like crossings, like to
Yes,
Jalen
I noticed
Waddle and to
that.
Tyreek Hill, like it was like butter. It was just amazing, and he's slicing all these like the zones
Yes,
up, and like,
right in the zone, and
yeah,
and he has
over
perfect timing.
over again, over perfect timing. It's like, and it's just like instinct. He's so good at it,
Yep.
and it's probably why he was good the 2 weeks ago when he got a concussion and still crushed it, because he's just
Yep.
good instinctively. And yeah, so they looked to me like they could be that number one team in the NFL, like temporarily. Like I saw
Yeah.
a power ranking with the number one, and I kind of agreed, because I was like, they are
Mm-hmm.
strong. This is like unstoppable potentially.
Right.
These speed receivers and everything. And Mike McDaniel, and like you said, it would take an injury to kind of derail them, and that happened. And
Unfortunately, man.
yeah, I mean, it was very unfortunate. You know, I, I as a Dolphins fan didn't have my hopes up too high anyway, so it's not like I came
Yeah.
down far. But it was really sad for me for just Tua. He's been through a lot. Like I said, I've always been a supporter of him.
Yeah.
Everyone hates him. And he's gone through a lot of adversity with so much drama. Like it's like a reality TV show he's been a part of the last 3 years.
Yep. Seriously.
So, for that to happen when he was
And it
looking like,
just so happened, that Ryan Fitzpatrick was announcing during that game too.
oh, really?
Yep. He was on the pregame and the halftime show, and
Okay.
he looked so sad.
Yeah.
Like
Well, a
you
big
know,
part of Tua's mentality came from the Fitzpatrick days, like the slinging
yeah.
it,
Mm-hmm.
like the slinging it mentality, not being afraid to take shots. Like maybe Tua already had that, but Fitzpatrick really impressed that upon him, I think too,
I agree.
and his deep ball, yeah. I mean, like, I guess I don't know. Like, it was max deep ball 45 yards, and somebody else's like Justin Herbert or something like
All right,
60.
but that's to me. Okay, I'm gonna stop you right there real quick.
Yeah.
That is not what wins games.
No,
You can
but
have
could
all the
Tyreek
arm strength in the
caught that
world.
ball? You're right. If he would have thrown that quicker, Tyreek probably would have. It may not
Not
have even
been
worked anyway because it took Tyreek a while to get the separation. So in order for him to get the catch, it probably had to be a 60-yard throw. But that isn't everything. You can obviously they figured out a way to win without having to have that, which I don't know if any team ever has to have that. Like it's like
right.
so they were just so strong. But the biggest thing was they were going to beat the Bengals. The Bengals didn't look that good. They looked totally flat. Our
I
defense
agree.
was better than their offense. Our offense was better than their defense, and our offense was better than their offense. I thought,
No,
and
I agree. They're picking
and
them
we were the
apart.
better team. And once he got hurt, I think they're a good team. So Teddy stepping in, they can still be a really good team. So they're not going to realize their potential as the number one overall potential team in the NFL anymore, but they could still win and go to the playoffs, maybe limp in the wild card or something with Teddy. But
Right.
what I'm really concerned about the most isn't the season anymore. It's just Tua. Because with Tua, we can win Super Bowls. Without him, we can't. And I'm worried about his career. I'm not even worried
Yes,
about this season
I
because
was
he could
agreeing
come
with that.
back. But what happened? If it was a concussion plus another concussion and it, compounded, that's a very, very bad thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, it happened to me in high school.
Yes.
It's
Yep.
not good.
Yep.
And he may never be able to come back. And if he does, he may not have the confidence that he had, or he may not have the ability that he had.
It's a sad truth.
He might have a career ender there.
I
And it's
I
just somber. It's just very somber. It's like,
I agree with you so much because just he fought through all that year he had last year. He had the injury coming out of college,
yeah.
and he just had so much adversity that he overcame. And
Mhm.
finally, he hit his streak, and everyone's
Yeah.
believing in him, and that happens. So
Mhm.
it's like,
And nobody's gonna. They're trying to be a mentally tough team and be soldier. Everyone be soldiers and just kind of, go on as business as usual. But I think everyone knew in the back of their mind and deep down, like all the players and even Mike McDaniel and stuff was like,
they looked sad,
yeah,
dude.
like
They looked sad on the
this
field.
is it. It's done. Like we're done.
Yeah.
Kind of a permanent feeling. And I don't know. Can the Dolphins? I mean, we're talking very hypothetically, but can they
Mhm.
ride? I mean, if he's out for the season at least, can they figure it out? Not this year, probably not with Teddy. He just looked like crap at the end of the game. He
Flat.
did no just good terrible decision making. He just doesn't seem like a quarterback to me. He just isn't a very good
Yeah.
quarterback.
He had one good run with New Orleans, and then ever since everyone's like, oh, maybe he's back. Nah.
Dude, the Dolphins have a third string quarterback, Skylar something, Skylar Thomas,
Uh,
or I can't remember, but he had a really great preseason. And he's kind of a playmaker too. And
why not?
yeah. What
If
is his
Teddy's that
stinking name?
flat,
He's
if
from
he
like
starts
Kansas
putting,
State. He was like a 6th-round pick.
I
Yeah,
would do that. Like if you're scoring like 10 to 15 points a game after this
yeah.
with Teddy, try it out.
Dude,
Why
pick
not?
him. I might pick him up in my leagues that are deep dynasty keeper leagues. Like
Yeah,
I really liked him in the preseason. He's not Tua, but
right,
it's something, and they could still win. They could go to the playoffs maybe with him. So, but Teddy isn't good.
right. And here's another thing I'll say about Tua is that I just in my head how I think it's gonna play out with either with if whether it's a spinal injury or a head injury.
Yeah.
I almost hope it's a spinal injury because
Right.
they can fix that. I mean, he might not play again or might
And
be really sketched out to play.
it's not like he can move all his appendages, so
Right.
it's
But I mean, Peyton Manning had 4 neck surgeries.
yeah.
And I mean, it could be something similar to that. It just to me the way I don't know. I don't know, but if
None of it is good. All
no,
of it is
no,
catastrophic.
it is. But if the thing that worries me about Tua is if it's his head,
Yeah.
when you get concussions like that, like, and you have that like strong of a heart to want to play football and
Yeah.
fight for your brothers,
That's he
he's
yeah.
gonna he has the he
Right.
did it
Like,
once.
you have to
He has
kill
the
me to
ability
take me off the field, and it's
exactly.
like
He will lay. He's a dude that will literally probably risk his life to play, and that's scary because like if it gets worse and worse, there's gonna be a point where it's a career ender.
well, and it's not like it was he also got thrown like a rag doll to the ground. Like it
Like a
wasn't even
that
right.
was, and they were doing that all game
That he did on purpose. He was wrapping him up, had him down, and then halfway
and
through
just
he decided to
whipped them
slam
down.
him on the ground. I
Yeah,
was like, that was like a WWE move. Like that was
exactly what
awful.
I was thinking.
That was awful. And so that would have given anybody regularly concussion. So it just really was. And we don't know. We're speculating. Let's not speculate anymore. Let's
Eh,
stop. It's sad though. And
yeah,
that was bad. That was like typical Bengals Marvin Lewis, like criminal behavior almost.
I agree. And if dude, I swear I had a few parlays on this game, and I was watching some individual players specifically. And there were a few tackles that were super similar, like people getting dumped on their heads,
Yeah.
people getting their knees crunched in, like dirty. Like
Yeah.
I was honestly really shocked. I there was a penalty, like I want to say 3 plays after Tua got hurt. Somebody tried to do the same thing to like I think it was Edmonds, and they threw a flag on it right away. I'm like,
Right.
well, you call it now, like
Right.
I don't know, but
It wasn't like a good game,
yeah,
by the Bengals
yeah,
at all. So yeah, I mean, I don't really even care about the outcome. I just really more care about Tua and just
same here.
everyone felt that way and just hoping he's okay, and even if, and I just hope he can come back the same guy. So that's the bottom line.
That's the main thing, man. I hope this doesn't, like, change his career.
Right.
Like,
Even if it
sit
doesn't
out
end
as
his
long as you got
career,
to.
it could effectively alter his career substantially enough to where it's over.
Yeah.
Like it may play out for a few years, but like
He
it's
might keep getting
over.
re-injured.
Right.
He might lose his confidence.
Right.
We've
Or
seen it.
he just can't seem to stay healthy or something. It might just be a culmination of a bunch of injuries. Like maybe just an injury prone guy, but
Yeah.
the head stuff, kind of keeps popping up now because he's had a lot and he just needs to pretty much probably stop playing for a while,
Right.
for a couple of
Do you
years.
think what do you think about, there's a new thing that Von Miller was coming out, or I don't know if he came out with it, but he's been speaking on it. It's called Supergrass or something, and
Yeah.
it's a mix of turf and grass. They say that that turf surface on those professional fields are, like, rock hard.
Yeah.
Like, when you hit it, it's just like
Sure.
hitting cement.
How many concussions happen because you hit your head on the ground versus, you know,
Head to
just
head.
head to head? Yeah,
More
like
concussions are head to the ground. Yeah,
right.
I agree with that.
And that's a good idea. I mean, if it can be kind of bouncy, you know what I
Right.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
or just absorb the hit, the force, the field can like somehow.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Yeah. They keep trying to change the helmets. They're doing all they can, but really, I mean, I don't think there's any way around it, unfortunately. You
Dude,
know.
sometimes this stuff just ends your career though.
Oh yeah,
Like, I mean, it doesn't for everybody. Some people don't. Some people it does, and I he's just an injury prone guy, so on kind of a baseline. So it's just to me, I think his career is most is if I had to say, I would think it's probably done.
that was hard for you to say, wasn't it?
Well, I
Yeah,
it's not even because I'm a Dolphins fan. It's just because
him.
I respect
No, I
him.
agree. I agree completely, dude. I was buying into that whole
Yeah, you
team in
were.
general. I that was my team I spoke highly on every week so far, and
Yeah.
to see that happen was just like it took the breath
Yeah,
out
it's
of
like
the.
the one game I watch live. It's like,
Yeah,
yeah, what do you
man.
know? And it's like been my whole life where, we've been bad. This is the only time we've ever been like even short term good. And it's like, you know, like,
Yeah,
of
yeah.
course.
Short
But
term
it's not
good
even
got me.
about me. It's all about him. I mean, and I don't it's not like we know him, you know what I mean? But it
Right.
still goes
The
that
human
that
aspect, man.
yeah, it's like my heart still goes out for him and I thought about him. I think a lot of people do,
Hmm.
pray for him and think about him, just
For
because
sure.
these are people that are putting their bodies on the line for our entertainment, that's purely all it is, and although it's more than that, I mean, it's sports are more than just entertainment. I mean, they have a whole humanity and cultural impact too, but still, you know, just I guess I don't know what I'm saying. It's just sad. All
It's just a sad thing. Well,
right.
let's uh let's switch gears here. Derek and I are going to be posting another video after this, so stay tuned.